This week, Vanessa Bucceri Creative is celebrating 3 years in business. As small business owners, it's important to share our brand origin story. We all start our crafts at the bottom. Our business ideas are born somewhere and some way. So today I'm sharing how I made the leap from corporate analyst to web designer. Here's my brand origin story. Shortly after my son's first birthday, I returned to work from a year-long maternity leave. It turns out work had changed along with my place in it. I'd take the bus and train on cold, rainy West Coast days during rush hour with crowds of other commuters. I spent 3 hours a day traveling and 8 hours working just for a paycheck. I missed my baby, who I was finally blessed with after 4 years of infertility struggles. Is this what life is? I was so miserable and it just didn't feel worth it anymore. I'd spend all those commuting hours binge listening to business podcasts, wishing for an idea of my own. I had a calling to work for myself as I come from a family of entrepreneurs, but I just didn't know what I wanted to do. Then one day at work, I had my aha moment. I was sitting at my desk and peeked over at my coworker's computer. On her screen was a sales page for an online coding and visual design program called Skill Crush. I immediately felt this urge to go for it, and with my incredible husband's support, I did. So fast forward 9 months, I had worked relentlessly in the evening hours and on weekends. I now had 3 coding and design boot camps under my belt, a couple of completed projects for friends in my portfolio, and an exit plan from my full-time job. I finally felt control of my life for the first time in years. Days after my 39th birthday, I gave my notice. In some ways, it was the easiest decision, but it was also really difficult. After 12 years in the same place, you establish some deep roots. Someone told me I'd made a brave and bold decision. These words struck me as I didn't feel brave or bold. I felt desperate, relieved, but also scared. I had no clue how to get clients, how to build a business, but I believed in myself that I would figure it all out. I had to. There was no plan B. 2 days after putting my resignation into an email, my department was pulled into a meeting room. Everyone was being offered a buyout package to leave the company. Well, everyone except me. With all my years factored in, my buyout would have been about $90,000. $90,000. There are so many words I can use to describe those last few weeks at work. I had a little money saved up, but I was also fully aware I was taking a big risk, and our little family would need to make a lot of sacrifices just for me to follow my dream. Waiting for years and planning my leave so carefully to only miss that kind of opportunity by days was a big punch to the gut. I felt sick and mad and frankly, really pissed off. But do you know what got me through and what I've held on to ever since? My colleague Nate gave me this sage advice that I will never forget. He said, at least when you succeed, you'll know it was because you did it yourself, not because of some handout. As it turns out, Nate was completely right. Years have passed since that time, and who knows if I would have the same success I do now if I had received all that money. When you want something bad enough, you'll do all the hard things to make it happen, and maybe having that money would have made the first years of small business ownership a lot easier, but then maybe I wouldn't be who I am today. Maybe I wouldn't have learned all the difficult lessons and pushed myself to get over my personal fears. Maybe I wouldn't have worked through my mindset issues of being good enough or deserving of money for my skills as a self-taught designer. Maybe. But what I do know for certain is that small business ownership is one of the hardest things, but also one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. So why now? Well, it's taken me time and space to accept what happened and be at peace with it. For a while, I also didn't know if all of this would work out regardless of how badly I wanted it to. Going after what you want in life is really, really hard sometimes. But I want you to know that you are more than capable. You deserve to find your passion too and to follow your dreams. And if I can do it, I know you can too. You are braver than you realize, and your actions, no matter how small and insignificant they may seem, can lead to big, bold, and amazing things. I know it and believe it because I've lived it and witnessed it firsthand. A roundtable at a conference, my first week as a self-employed designer, led me to a relationship that has provided multiple clients and ongoing referrals. One post on Pinterest helped me land a website project. One hashtag I use on my Instagram provides ongoing leads in my business. One comment in a Facebook group led to a contract 3 years later, and a single tag on a Facebook post led me to a multiple 5-figure project at the start of the COVID pandemic last year. All these small actions add up. Take a step, any step. You don't have to have everything figured out. I certainly didn't, and I still don't. Live boldly with me. I promise, once you start, you won't want to stop. Are you ready to be unstoppable? As you navigate your own brand origin story, know I'm here cheering you on.